Hi there and welcome to Foulmouth Pinball Tutorials. I'm Dennis B and today we are talking about Theater of Magic by popular demand. Wanted to throw this together really quickly. I'm going to try to keep this video fairly quick. I'll go through as much as I can, kind of winging it here off the top of my head, but I've played this a lot in the last 24 hours, so I think I have a pretty good grasp on all the stuff I want to cover on this one. So let's fucking go. Okay, so really quickly, we're going to talk about all of the different ramps and orbits and targets on the board. Just run through those really quickly here, starting from left to right here. This one here is your theater orbit. So this one here shoots the ball up, comes all the way around, and kind of depending on what kind of mode you have active, for the most part it comes up here to these lights up here, and this is where you increase your end of ball bonus, so your 2x, 3x, all the way up to 10x bonus. So what you have to do is there's two ramps here, or two kind of outlets each that is lit with the little creepy fucking masks, and so you basically just have to light both of the lights. When you light them both, you get ×2. You do it, light it again, ×4, ×6, ×8, ×10, all the way up. And then eventually, when you actually get it all the way up to ×10, any subsequent ones get you about 10 million points, I believe. Yeah, it's 10 million points. Okay, so that's your orbit shot that comes around here. Next one here is the captive ball. This is the Tiger Saw award. So again, if you shoot the ball and hit it up here, you'll get an award for the Tiger Saw. If you actually start the Tiger Saw mode, it's an even bigger award. And this also lights this vanish light that's in the orbit here. That vanish light is like 40 million points. So again, if you can get that lit, that's a good point getter right there. I also forgot to mention there, all of these ramps also applies to one of the various illusion modes. I'll get to those in a bit, but for this orbit here, this is where you do the straitjacket illusion. So when you start that particular illusion, they want you to shoot the ball up here and get it to the bumpers. But we'll talk about that more in a bit. So cover the orbit, captive ball. Next one here is this kind of really fast-moving. This is kind of almost like an inner orbit. I'm not sure what the actual terminology is, but essentially you shoot it here and it fires around, fast as a motherfucker, right around and right back at you here. But this is this is where you can lock the ball, and then there's also a mode for safe escape where you kind of hit the ball here. Now, if you hit the ball kind of lightly or kind of mishit it, and it kind of comes up here slowly and dies behind this box here, it actually drops into the box and you get a kind of a free locked ball, and it starts the locked ball mode. So again, when you we'll get to this in a second, when you light the locks here, this is where you want to shoot the ball, and the ball will automatically get locked. But if locks aren't lit and you do this like kind of weak shot, it falls in there and starts your lock ball, pretty much, quote unquote, free of charge. Okay, next thing is this box. This is probably the most important shot in the game. This box is going to get pounded, harder than a prostitute's you-know-what. So you're going to be hitting this thing a lot. So get used to figuring out the best way to do that, and we'll talk a little bit about strategy and how to do it, because obviously it can be very dangerous shooting straight at it. So we'll talk about that more in a bit, but that's the box. Next one here is, this is a ramp here for, does a couple of different things. So first I'll start with raising the trapdoor. So there's a trapdoor here. You shoot, when this raised trapdoor light is lit, you shoot the ball up here. The ball comes back around the orbit out here, and there is a trapdoor that opens here. So you want to take and immediately hit the ball right here. The trapdoor is timed. I think it's only about like 5 to 10 seconds. It's not very long. So you really have to quickly, shoot the ball up here, trapdoor opens, ball comes to your flipper, bang it right in there. It can be done. Spell magic. So this is where you see magic right here on the board. This is where you shoot the ball to light those lights, that starts the ball lock here, where you can lock the ball and then start your multi-ball. You know, for me personally, I have a hard time seeing this woman in this picture because this magic symbol is fucked up. It looks like her hand is backwards, but she also has a weird backwards hand over here. I don't know. This lady's hands are fucked up. I don't understand it. You know, maybe someone can explain it to me, but it looks like her hand is backwards to me on here, because that's a thumb. That's a thumb. That's a right hand, but it's on her left hand. I don't get it. Anyway, next shot here is the other lock shot. So you've actually got two different ramps you can hit to lock balls. This is also safe escape illusion there, and then there's also a spirit cards mode, which is also one of your illusions. So you want to hit this, and this is the actual spinner here. So again, pretty straightforward. And that one, same thing, man. You shoot it up, you know, with speed, and this one comes out fast. Same thing with this one. You shoot it up with speed, it's coming back out this way, super fast. So be ready. Next one here, this is, like I mentioned before, there's a trap door that opens here when you raise the trap door in front of this ramp. So you'll, again, find yourself shooting that a lot. If you're able to get the ball into the trap door, it's 15 million points plus a random award. This is where you get your extra balls. There's a couple of different extra balls there. There's you know, just a straight light extra ball. There's also a pinball, digital pinball mode that's played on the DMD, where you can get an extra ball. Otherwise, there's points. You can advance the clock. You can advance modes. It awards you illusion. There's a whole shitload of different random awards. So getting this a lot is a good thing, because you can make your way through the modes as quickly as possible. Metamorphosis is again one of the illusion modes. This is the ramp that you want to hit for that one here. You can also hit this ramp for spelling magic to get these, you know, light up these magic lights. That of course unlocks your ball locks. And then Spirit Ring is another. This Spirit Ring is not really a mode. This is kind of like that's this ball capture right here. So when that is lit, you shoot the ball up here. It comes here, captures the ball, and then if you do it multiple times in a row, I think it starts at 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, and then eventually the ball will feed down here right to your flippers. So that's Spirit Ring. And then the last one here is the other side of the orbit. So this one here is where you start the Tiger Saw multi-ball mode, which when this is lit, you shoot it up here, and then it starts a 2-ball multi-ball mode. Now, if you have, for this Tiger Saw multi-ball, if you have visual extras turned on, it actually makes the balls invisible, which is kind of like, I don't know, weird and annoying. Some people like it. I think it's weird. So like it looks like you're kind of hitting an illusion into these invisible balls. I've actually turned off visual extras for this one, and I've actually played better since. But anyway, so that's the Tiger Saw multi-ball. But the most important thing on this is this advancing clock, and I'll get to that in a second. But this shot here, so when you start the game, I believe the game starts you at 1 o'clock, and you have to advance the clock all the way to midnight to start the midnight mode, which is you know, kind of a ball lock mode where the box turns around and then you shoot the ball, it captures the ball, and it starts. It's a hurry up mode that starts at like 20 million and it slowly ticks down. But you can hit the shot over and over and over again, and it's like you start it, you get it right away, you get 20 million, and then you'll get 19 million, and you'll get 18, and it just slowly ticks down depending on how many times you hit it. And then there's also, again, this is the other side of the orbit. This is the straight jacket mode. So again, if you hit the ball up here and get it down to the bumpers, that's where you advance that straight jacket mode. But advanced clock, again, super important shot. So what you definitely want to do is learn how to hit this shot from the left flipper, tip of the left flipper right up here, because you're going to do that a lot, and it's going to come around here and you're going to advance that clock. So super important shot there. Super important to be able to learn how to get these ball locks and activate the multi-ball. And then one thing I didn't mention on this one here is when you hit this shot, so this is again the reverse, where it's on your right flipper shooting up here. This is where you spell theater, and the theater lights are right here. And so when you fully spell theater, you get a hurry up mode at the box. So if you shoot it in the box, it's like it starts at like 50 million and can be go up from there. But again, every time you hit this ramp and come up here, you get a theater letter. Okay, so those are the basic shots, the basic ramps and orbits. Now, there's one other important shot that I want to point out here. It's this one here. It's Hocus Pocus over here, okay? So this essentially is, for lack of a better way to describe it, your ball save. It's more like a Magnus save, where if you have this activated and the ball comes over into these out lanes, it uses a magnet, captures it, grabs it, and then softly drops it down your in lanes. Super, super important to keep that activated. You know, much like with a Magic Pixel table, like you want this one activated, otherwise you get fucked with out lane. Like the ball just loves to go to these out lanes, so you've got to keep that active as much as possible. Otherwise you're getting shit bounce after shit bounce right to the out lane, and you're gonna scream and get pissed off like me. Okay, so I think I covered, that's all of the most important shots. So let's talk about, you know, the wizard mode and what you want to progress. So if you look at the bottom here, right above the flippers, there's 4 lights here, right? You need to complete all 4 of these things to get to the grand finale. Then the grand finale is the so-called wizard mode of this table, okay? So first one here, spell theater. We talked about that. So you've got to be able to hit this shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, spell theater completely. Once you complete theater, like I told you, you know that because you'll get a hurry up mode where you want to shoot the ball in here. So that's theater. Again, pretty easy if you can learn to make that shot. Okay, next one is multi-ball. Pretty simple. You have to, you know, spell magic, activate your ball lock your balls, start multi-ball. That's all you need to do is start it. You don't need to complete it. You don't need to get any kind of points, anything like that. Just start multi-ball. Okay. Midnight mode. Same thing we just talked about, right? You got to hit this shot, and you got to hit it kind of a lot. Now you can advance the clock with again, like, you know, kind of the free items with the trap door, but for the most part you need to be able to hit this shot like 12 times in order to kind of get it, advance the clock all the way to midnight and complete that. Again, you just have to get the midnight mode. You don't have to, you know, actually hit the shot when you finally complete midnight mode. It'll just, as soon as you get it, you'll get the light. And then the final one is the illusions, and this, in my, you know, for my money, is the hardest fucking thing to do, because you have to actually, again, you don't have to complete them, you just have to activate them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different illusions, okay? And it's a grind. It takes a lot to actually activate every single one of these, because in order to, so there's a couple different ways you can activate illusions. The first one and the easiest one is with your plunge, okay? So when you start the game and you are about to, you know, plunge, on the DMD there'll be a rotating award, okay? So you have to sit and wait and watch and have it come up on start illusion, okay? Again, my opinion, my advice, do that every time. Always try to start the illusion, because that's the hardest thing to get. All of the other stuff, don't worry about it. The points will come. You don't need added bonuses. You don't need 10 million points or 20 million points. Try to get the illusions, because it just makes your life easier to get through these. So essentially what you have to do is when the DMD says start illusion, plunge the ball, I always just hold the plunger back, and then as soon as the start illusion pops up on the DMD, I let the plunger go, it shoots it up, it comes down, and then what you have to do in order to complete the skill shot and get that is you have to shoot the ball immediately and hit the trunk. As soon as you hit the trunk, the illusion will start, and then you can choose whether or not you actually want to do the illusion or not. Again, there's different, you know, schools of thought on, do you just let the illusions go, because as soon as you activate it, you so quote unquote collect the illusion. Again, your fucking decision on whether you want to try it or not. I personally try to complete the illusions, or at least get some of the shots to get some of the points, because, you know, again, the name of the game is try to rack up points. So I'm trying to go for the points. But admittedly, it's risky, because the more risk you take, the more shots you take, the more chance you have of draining. So it's just one of those things you have to kind of decide for yourself on, okay, what risk do you want to take? You can just sit there and hold the ball and wait it out, and then try to go for the next illusion. Okay, so that's the first way to start illusions. But the main way to start illusions, and the most, you know, the way you're probably going to do the most in the game is to hit the box. So if you see these 3 orange lights, you have to hit the box 3 times. When you hit the box 3 times, it spins around, it and shows its its opening. It presents like a fucking wild gazelle to you, and you need to then jam your ball up in it. So basically hit the box 3 times and then a 4th time inside the box to start the next illusion. And the illusions, again, rotate. I believe they change by bumper hits, but I think that's the only way that they change. But they'll rotate, you know, throughout play. But for the most part, whichever one is lit is going to be the one. Sorry, not for the most part. Whichever one is lit is going to be the one that gets activated for that particular shot. Okay, so hitting the box, pretty straightforward, but it's a lot fucking harder than you think, right? So for me, you know, again, a lot of times when you're you know, getting a ball coming down here and it's a pretty decently fast roll, it's not always easy to just fire it right up there and get that hit the box. And if you do, you run the risk of draining, or you run the risk of having it ricochet off the box, hit something here, and go directly to an out lane, which happens a lot too. That's where it goes back to why you want to try to keep this hocus pocus lit. So we'll talk about that hocus pocus shot in just a second, but essentially what you want to try to do is just be as careful as possible when you're firing at the box here, to try not to get these, like, you know, 500-mile-an-hour shots to come right back down the middle. Now, if you find a way there, I mean, look, you can shoot the ball and it's not as bad as of a drain monster as some of the other tables that we play. So it's possible to hit it, but it's just risky. For my money, the safest play, and I'll try to show this to you in some play examples in just a few minutes here, but what I do is I aim for the hocus pocus shot there, okay? If you can actually consistently shoot the ball, hit the hocus pocus, I would say 80% of the time it's gonna hit hocus pocus and it's gonna redirect right at the box here, and then it just softly rolls down to your flippers. So that is, for my money, the safest shot and the safest way to get your, you know, to hit the box, you know, multiple times, and it goes pretty close to the middle. So if you hit it 3 times and the box spins around, you can still do that redirect right up the middle, and it works pretty well. So my suggestion is, if you're going to practice any shot to get good, is practice that. Practice the hit the hocus pocus, hit the box, and then have it softly come down to your flippers. Couple other things to note on this here. Dead flipping. So in this, from my experience, dead flips, and that's for people who are not familiar with the term dead flips, it's when the ball will come down, you don't flip it, you leave the flipper alone, it'll hit and it'll come over, you know, whether it comes down, you know, to this flipper and bounces to that flipper, or comes down to this flipper and bounces to that one. So from my experience, the only dead flips you can really do are when the ball is coming down from the orbits, okay? So when the ball is coming down the orbits, it comes here, it hugs the slingshot, and then will hit and then bounce right over. You know, any of the other lanes, like, so for example, this lane, I've gotten screwed by this a couple times now, where you try to let the ball dead flip, it hits the fucking flipper and just rolls right down to the middle. So you can't dead flip off of like these interior orbits. So don't do it. The ball just rolls right out and you look like a fucking idiot. So what I would suggest is, when the ball is kind of coming down anywhere from the middle, is just put your flipper up and try to capture it. If they're coming down from the orbits, let them dead flip, because the reverse, if you try to capture with the balls coming down the orbits, a lot of times they hit your flipper, hit the slingshot, and bounce over and around your flipper and right down the middle, which is annoying as fuck as well. So try to be careful of that. So again, my advice, you know, balls coming down, you know, somewhere in these middle ramps, capture, you know, flipper up, capture. If they're coming down the orbits, dead flip, let them bounce over, okay? So let me think. So anyway, so getting back to this, once you complete all 8 of the illusions, you will then light grand finale, and you need to shoot. You can see there's a red light that says start finale. You need to shoot the ball up there. That starts the wizard mode, and in the wizard mode, I believe it's every shot is like 50 million. And I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head. There's a certain number of shots that you need to hit in order to kind of complete the grand finale mode. It's not very many, and it's not very hard because like, I mean, you can hit any shot, and it, you know, I haven't had any issue completing it, to be honest. So so as soon as you get it started, just hit your ramps. You know, I would, for me, you know, pick whatever your most comfortable shot is. But again, keep in mind that it's a, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this. It's a multi-ball, so you're gonna have a ton of balls just all coming down, and you're just whacking away at them. But like, this is such like a nice open fan layout that, like, you know, just whacking balls around. You're going up ramps, you're going up the orbits. So I'm not too worried about you completing the finale mode. It's just getting there is the hard part, right? And it's hard as fuck, man. It's a grind. Prior to today, my highest score in this game was like 4 billion, was the best I could do, and I could only get to the grand finale like once, and even that was hard. But I just happened to have a really fortunate, really good game, lucky game, and you know, was able to get the grand finale twice, almost the third time, and that got my score up pretty significantly. I did a personal best of like 11 billion. Not that I'm bragging, who gives a shit? I know, but I'm just saying, like, getting that grand finale mode is really how you just fucking hyper drive your score. Let me see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed that I wanted to talk about. I think we talked about the basement. We talked about the shots. I'm not going to go through each of these modes in detail. It's all pretty straightforward. You know, when you start the mode, it tells you where to shoot it. It's blinking. Shoot it at the blinking light. So from there, my other piece of advice too, visual extras. I recommend turning off the visual extras. They don't really impact play that much on this particular table, but I've just found I play a lot better when I do that. So really quickly, to kind of summarize, my advice: learn this Hocus Pocus shot. Keep this activated. All you have to do is hit it once, and it's active for, I don't know, like 15 to 20 seconds. But hit the Hocus Pocus, deflect to the box, get all of your illusions completed. And then from there, like, over the course of doing that, you know, you can still, you know, you can work on your theater shot. You can work on your advancing clock shots. I think that pretty much covers everything. So what I'll do is I'll turn up the volume on the game, and I'll do a little bit of gameplay, and hopefully I'll be able to talk through some of these strategies that I just discussed. So let me put a little bit of volume up here so you can hear.
Welcome to the theater.
Okay, so as you can see on the DMD, you can see the thing going through. I've got the plunger pulled back all the way right now. I'm just waiting for a 10 million advanced clock start illusion. Boom, shoot the trunk, and I was way late, so I didn't hit the trunk. So you want to do that. Okay, so now this is what I was talking about here. So now I've got the ball, got it trapped. What I want to do is I want to go for the Hocus Pocus shot first and foremost, just to light the Hocus Pocus so that I can get this ball save here, or the magna save. But also I'm going to see if I can hit it in a way to get the deflection to the box. So hopefully I'm not too out of practice. I can do this right away here. And of course I missed it. Okay, let's try again. Late, but that's a great way to get the theater shot. But that right there, probably blinked and you missed it, but I hit the Hocus Pocus and it hit the thing, and now I've got one light lit, and I'm working on the second one, and Hocus Pocus is lit. So let me try it again. You got to be way, way, way late on the very tip of the flipper to hit that. Oh, that was a little too late. Dead flip right there because it's coming down from the orbit like I talked about. Boom, there it is. Hocus Pocus, and there you go. It caught the ball. That was going to go out. That was definitely going to go out, and it caught the ball. Very important. That's why you need that hocus pocus shot. And there you go.
Performance is about to begin.
Another hocus pocus shot. Hocus pocus is lit, and now the trunk is open, starting the illusion right off the bat. So, again, learn this. Get good at it. I'm going to see if I can deflect off the hocus pocus and into the center again. Again, I'm still a little too early. It takes a little bit of time to get warmed up on this one here. Again, coming down from the thing, dead flip. If you try to capture, sometimes you can, but for the most part, it's going to bounce out. So now, most people that are really good at pinball will probably try to do the dead flip and bring it, or do the the nudge pass. I hate doing it on the Zen tables because I feel like I'm going to tilt. But I'm going to do the risky move and try to backhand this motherfucker right into that hole and see if I can pull it off. Nope, not quite. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Let's try this again. Nope. And definitely learn your nudge slap saves because you're going to use them a lot in this fucking. So let me see if I can bank the hocus pocus shot again. Way early. Almost.
Make the ball vanish.
So now my vanish shot is lit, so I'm going to hit that for 40 million. 40 million vanish. Bang. Just like that. And then you get to re-plunge the ball, which I'm going to do. See, sometimes just trying to get it in that hole is kind of hard. I'm doing a little bit too soon, but you can backhand this shot. I'm just doing terribly at it. I guess I should stop fucking around and just do it. Do it already.
Into the trapdoor.
Trapdoor, bang. See, that's what I was talking about there. Opened the trapdoor, came up, one shot. I got my spell magic, and now my light blocks are lit.
Go for the center loop.
Okay, well, I just cheated and put the ball in the back door.
Ball is locked.
You know, because sometimes you just got to jam it in the back door when they're not expecting it, right? So I'm not going to play a full game because a game of this will last a fucking hour. So, but there's an example of the ball lock right there.
The second ball.
And so let me just really quickly show you the multi-ball in action, if I can get that there. Okay, so now I've activated the multi-ball. So the first ball is going to come out of the trap door here, and you want to try to get it immediately in that hole because that's 100 million points. If you can hit that shot right away within 3 seconds, boom. Wait a minute, they didn't give me the 100 million points? Well, that sucks. That should have been... Anyway, after you get the jackpot on the multi-ball, you just gotta hit the... sorry, I'm not even paying attention here. You gotta hit the box 3 times. And it opens up the jackpot again, and the jackpot just kind of goes up from 50 million. There's another vanish. Oh, and there you go. There's an example of what I was telling you about. I was sitting there letting it do a dead flip, and it went right down the middle. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you with my shit play tonight, and I'm already, kind of sick of this game, to be perfectly honest. Played it a lot in the last 24 hours. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this foul-mouth pinball tutorial. If there's any other important tips that I missed, go ahead and put them in the comments and let me know what you think. But I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate all the kind words and support I've gotten on the first couple of foul-mouth pinball tutorials. So if you guys like them and want them, I'll keep making them. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you again soon. We'll see you on the leaderboards and the Discords. Take care. Bye.